Good morning, fellow devotees of Mama Mary, Mediatrix of All Grace. My name is Florinda Suguitan Aquino. I will be 90 years old in about 2 weeks. When I was asked to give witness to my late husband Toto's healing through water consecrated to Mama Mary, Mediatrix, I realized our faith journey was intertwined. I first heard about the miraculous shower of roses in Lipa back in 1948 as a music student at St. Scholastica's College. 72 years ago, I joined a big group of students on a bus trip to Lipa, and it was then that the seed of my devotion to Mama Mary Mediatrix was planted. But that seed remained dormant until 2013, when it finally sprouted in God's time. My daughter Hilda was instrumental in the sprouting. As part of her ministry, she would drive Father Pio Aclon to visit the sick and the elderly. Sister Teresita Castillo, the Lipa visionary, was among them. At times, Father celebrated Holy Mass for Sister Teresing, and Hilda was blessed to be present. One day, she invited me to join them, and I said yes right away. Sister Teresing was lying down in her bedroom when we arrived. She welcomed us with her eyes. I felt privileged to attend Holy Mass in such an intimate setting. Afterwards, Sister Teresing blessed my rosary, and we chatted for a bit. When she heard I was a pianist, she told me she had been preparing for her junior piano recital long ago when she gave it up to join the Carmelites. Her family did not approve, but somehow she managed to brave her father's anger and escape to the convent in Lipa. My conversation with Sister Teresing gave me a sense of her inner strength and profound humility, qualities that kept her faithful to her authentic experience of Mama Mary through years of persecution. I had noticed a piano outside her bedroom, so I offered to play some classical favorites of her. I left the door open so she could hear me. She whispered to Father Pio that she hoped to play the piano again one day. After that visit, my devotion to the Blessed Mother blossomed. Toto and I completed the 33-day preparation for total consecration to Mary according to Saint Montfort, and were consecrated to Mama Mary with a group of devotees on July 16, 2013, the feast of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. It was also the birthday of our spiritual advisor, Father Pio. With the approval of Sister Teresing, we consecrated Father and his mission for the poor to Our Lady. This is how Mama Mary healed my late husband Toto. Last January 2020, Toto developed severe diarrhea, so bad that he had to be hospitalized for 8 days. And every single day, Toto said he wanted to go home. The doctors determined that his long-standing diabetes had affected his body's capacity to produce enzymes needed to control the diarrhea. Finally, Toto was discharged from the hospital, and he was happy to go home. We prayed he would not get diarrhea again. About this time, Nightmares about death and dying caused him a lot of suffering. He looked forward to visits from Father Pio, who assured him that Saint Michael would keep him safe. Father Pio had blessed a statue of Saint Michael, which he kept by his bedside. In March 2020, COVID-19 struck. Even doctors stayed away from hospitals. A month into lockdown, on April 20, 2020, Toto complained of a stomach ache, then vomited a cupful of green bile. His doctors warned us that if his symptoms persisted, he would need hospitalization. But Toto said he would rather die in his own bed with me by his side than be admitted to the hospital. Our family stormed the heavens with prayer. But our worst fear happened the next morning when around 5 a.m., Toto started having bouts of explosive diarrhea. He was weak and helpless as he had not eaten since the day before. Caring for him was a challenge. My daughter Helen and our 2 helpers scrambled to change bed sheets and keep him clean. All I could do was give him sips of hydrating salts dissolved in water that had been consecrated to Mama Mary Mediatrix. I gave him 1 sip at a time, very slowly, praying he would not vomit. By noontime, he had taken less than 2 cups. Our doctor friend said this was not enough, that he needed to go to the hospital. But we held off trying to respect Toto's wishes. Providentially, Father Pio and Joel Strada, a longtime family friend, received our prayer request for Toto and dropped by. Father Pio blessed Toto and told him not to worry. He would be fine. As always, Toto believed him and was grateful for the blessing. Soon after they left, Toto asked for food. I hesitated, but he insisted. To everyone's amazement, he ate some oatmeal, bits of apple, and even an egg. The vomiting and diarrhea stopped, and his abdominal pain completely resolved. Just like that. He had bounced back dramatically with barely 2 cups of Mama Mary's consecrated water. We all knew that Toto had been given time to put his affairs in order, time to say goodbye. Since then, we consecrate all the drinking water in our home to Mama Mary. It's one way we allow her to bless us. Toto celebrated his 94th birthday last June 17, thanks to Mama Mary. But even as we noticed him getting physically weaker, spiritually he was getting stronger every day. Toto received a special grace during this period. He lost his fear of dying. He held his rosary for comfort and would pray together every chance we got. Those months were a gift from Mama Mary, not only for Toto, but also for me. One day, I was inspired to ask friends and family to write him uplifting messages. They poured in from far and wide. My daughter Heidi and I took turns reading them to him. They brought him such joy. In effect, Toto enjoyed his eulogies while he was still alive. On July 9, Toto passed away peacefully in his sleep. God granted him his wish. He died in his own bed with me by his side. At his private wake in our home, I played the autumn leaves for him, even if my hands were hurting. Our theme song since our courting days. Several weeks after Toto died, my health took a turn for worse. People said I looked good, but every part of my body was in pain. After his death, I could still walk around the village, but a month later, I could not do it anymore. Then came the day that my feet and legs were swollen. My doctor ordered some tests, and the results surprised us all. I had suffered a heart attack in the recent past, and there was a blood clot in the great vein of my right thigh. I could have died, but somehow I survived. I guess my mission on earth is not yet done. I also have bad arthritis and muscle pains. They say it's all part of aging. Pain medications help, but only temporarily. It is with God's grace and Mama Mary's comforting presence that I offer all my pains for others. Somehow, this is what helps make things bearable. God's hidden blessings emerge just when I need them. One of my oldest friends, the late Emilina de Jesus, a College of Music classmate with me on that fateful trip to Lipa, had given me 2 rose petals a few months before she died. She said they were among the 1948 Lipa shower of petals. I found them and showed Hilda. They had not crumbled, although some edges were curled up. She was so excited. With careful inspection, under good lighting, we made out a partial image of the Last Supper on one petal. Toto, a skilled wood carver, had created many Last Supper carvings in his lifetime. So I knew this petal was meant for me. On the second petal, we saw a faint image of the Holy Family. I gave this petal to Hilda because she had helped rekindle my special devotion to Mama Mary Mediatrix. A week after I started working on this witness, I learned that one of her miraculous images was visiting homes, bringing comfort and healing to the sick. I prayed that she would be with me on November 26, our 65th wedding anniversary. My prayers was answered. Her beautiful statue arrived on November 24, just as the first draft of this testimony was completed. A very sweet, flowery fragrance filled the air as I received her image and carried her into our home. The thought crossed my mind. Maybe she was saying, "Thank you." The following Sunday, Hilda came to visit. She handed me a large framed collage of me smiling, surrounded by gorgeous roses, playing the piano at Toto's wake. I gazed at it, feeling deep consolation. Hilda had received it the day before from her friends, Socorro Mendoza Dichoso and her husband, Loy. She had opened it and was overwhelmed and speechless. Hilda informed me that Socorro was the late baby born in 1948 with a hole in her head miraculously healed when with great faith her mother had placed Lipa petals on her head. It was remarkable because I myself had never met them. The perfect timing of their gift made me certain that Mama Mary Mediatrix was with me. Although I cannot play the piano the way I used to, I'm blessed to be able to continue teaching my beloved grandson Stefan to play the piano well. And thanks to COVID restrictions, my 3 daughters, Hilda, Heidi, and Helen, who used to be too busy, are now taking piano lessons as well. Teaching them makes me happy because in the autumn of my life, I still share my gift of music, and Mama Mary is journeying with me, helping me prepare for the inevitable, just as she helped Toto. This gives me great comfort and joy. Thank you for listening to my story. May Mama Mary bless you as she blessed me and my family every single day.